The future belongs to those who dare, those who will do extra. Hi, I'm Mark Croskery, and welcome to Business Dive Extra, the program that looks beyond dollars and cents to the movers and shakers in the business and the capital markets. Today, we are joined by a woman who has for over 20 years led in the field of construction, development, and engineering with a passion, enthusiasm, and innovation. She's a registered professional engineer in both Jamaica and the USA. She has a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from UWI, a Master's in Science in Civil Engineering from Georgia Institute of Technology, and an MBA in Business Administration from the Mona School of Business and Management. She has served as a General Manager of WICON, Real Estate Development Division, and her groundbreaking leadership style and transformational vision is proven. Have you guessed it yet? Joining us is Aisha Campbell, CEO of Proven Real Estate Investment Trust Limited, Proven REIT. Aisha.
Hi, Mark.
Welcome to Business Dive Extra.
Thank you.
It's great having you on Proven REIT.
Yes.
You know, it's not very often we get to really interview female leadership, and it's great to have you. We're always looking and searching, but you have really done a terrific job, and you're in the asset class of the moment, real estate.
Yes, very exciting asset class, I would say. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And why do you find it so exciting? It's traditional, it's been around for ages. Persons always say they're not making any more of it, like one of the old adages. But why do you think it's exciting at this point of time, especially in Jamaica?
Well, the old adage does stand that land is not renewable, right? And for me, the exciting part of this is really creating real estate solutions for persons, for investors, for homeowners that will stand the test of time, that will help them to build generational wealth. And that, real estate, when sometimes, especially at WICON, we're handing over that home, it's this thing that you aspire for. You want to own your home. You want to have a piece of the rock.
Yes. Yeah. And Proven REIT, is it a public vehicle or is it a private vehicle at this point in time?
So Proven REIT is a wholly owned subsidiary of Proven Investment Limited. And Proven Investment Limited is a public vehicle.
Okay.
And so what it is that the public can invest in Proven Investment, and then some of that capital is allocated to Proven REIT for us to do all of these wonderful projects that you see all over.
and we're gonna get to those.
I will get to that. Yes.
Roughly, when did it kind of get started, and when was the decision made to get into Proven REIT and get this real estate exposure under PIL?
Right. So Proven REIT is fairly young in the entire scheme of things and business life cycles, but we started around 2005, right? And at that point in time, the principals figured that this was a good time to get their feet wet in the real estate space, and we've been growing ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were some of the infancy projects, or what was one of the first projects for Proven Real Estate Investment Trust?
Right. So the first project that the trust did was on Kingsway Avenue. We did that as a joint venture. I was not with Proven REIT at the time, but they did that project and executed it as a joint venture with Matalon Homes.
Okay.
That was very successful.
Okay, so really what's unique about Proven REIT is you're not adverse to joint ventures or, kind of co-investing with other real estate, whether it's trusts or investment funds. You don't have to do it on your own.
We do not. And actually, we really look out and seek out strategic partnerships, because we believe that, you can bring something to the table and we can bring something to the table. And if you get that right alignment, Mark, it's like magic in terms of the product and the end game, right, for the real estate.
And so, Aisha, how do you kind of frame Proven REIT? Is it kind of like a development fund? Is it more like just real estate exposure overall, or how do you look at it? Is it it's not a sole developer, clearly, based on what you mentioned.
Right.
But how do you kind of frame it when you speak to whether it's investors or shareholders?
Right. So we look at our portfolio in two buckets: the development projects, which are typically the greenfield projects that we would look at a piece of land and build that from ground up, and we can either sell that down, like some of the apartments that we're doing now, or we can keep that in our portfolio. And then we just look at also the revenue producing investment properties that we would look for investment properties that exist, have strong tenants, and we would invest in that. And that's our recurring revenue. And that's another income stream. So it's really looking at how we best balance that portfolio. But overall, now, when you look at the right mix, that's when you have that great performance from a financial point of view.
And so you do keep, whether it's residential or commercial, you do keep some risk on the balance sheet, or you keep back some of the development properties for income appreciation purposes?
Absolutely. So right now we've kept back, we're keeping back the commercial properties more so than the residential. We're going to be selling down most of the residential, but we may keep some of those as well. So we do have in our portfolio now the income producing commercial properties, and as I said, the residential primarily that we sell down.
Yeah, I mean, I always hear from, say, even, just retail investors, the market, persons avoid residential because you don't want to be getting a complaint call from, call me the plumber, call me, not necessarily the engineer, but call this and this problem, that problem, so they stick with commercial. Is that kind of some of the thought process, that the commercial has a longer term leases and it's less risky?
Yeah, I mean, so that is a consideration because we are looking for a solid tenant that, as you said, you can minimize your risk, so you can secure your income stream where that's concerned. That is not to say that if we see a residential property that we can buy in block,
like volume,
right? So it would make sense then to get a property manager to work through whatever issues and to deal with the different tenants.
So almost like if you could buy a whole strata one time.
Correct. And more importantly, if it meets our return criteria, it's something that we're open to looking at.
Yeah. So because you're a private company, I mean, is there kind of a mix like that you can tell us, like between commercial and residential, that you try and like hit as a strike rate?
Not between commercial and residential, between the development projects and the income revenue, recurring revenue projects. So we try to skew it more to the recurring revenue assets because that's less risky.
Yes.
And you get your cash flows from that. But then you have your development projects that going to give you that spike in profit. When I sell down one development and it's profitable, you get that hit of profit. And we look for 60% in terms of that recurring revenue and 40% in terms of the development projects for selling down is really what we're targeting.
That's the magic number.
That's what we believe is the magic number.
Are you there today?
No, we're not.
Okay, you're below the 60%.
We are more in the development side right now.
Got you.
Yes.
But as you churn them out, that's where you want to get to.
And here's the thing. Some of the projects that we're developing greenfield will eventually go into recurring revenue because we're going to hold them in our portfolio.
And is your target market, I mean, is it, let's say, accredited investors, high net worth investors, or is it more institutional investors like pension funds where you're looking to sell or, offload the assets to?
I would say it's a really broad mix, and it's very product and location specific, Mark. So we have projects coming up on the North Coast, and in those cases, we're targeting the diaspora. Some of the projects that we have here in the KMA region, yes, we've had pension funds invest, but we've primarily had your high net worth investors invest in those, especially those we have on Millsboro Avenue, the villas, the high-end villas, etc. And then you do still, we're still also targeting some, young couples that want to invest and first-time homeowners for some of the entry-level prices for our products.
Do you, a lot of developers out there say, once they do a good job, they have a strong track record, their buyers sometimes can be as high as like 30%, meaning like, the same buyers, development to development.
Yes.
Do you have your own internal kind of sales team, or do you use third-party realtors? I mean, how does that kind of magic work for you?
Right. So we have a hybrid. So we do have on my team, I have sales persons, but we also partner with external realtors And that really works for us. So we've built up our own internal database to answer that question. And yes, we do have repeat customers through that and through keeping them informed, and they're happy with one product, and they go, okay, when next are you going to be developing another, right?
Okay.
And as you said, that loyalty is key, you know. So
once
when
you're delivering and yeah.
Absolutely. Once you're delivering, you know, even if they may not buy, Mark, they're going to tell somebody else. And so that referral, that loyalty is something that's key for us, which also ties into the quality of the product that we are going to put out there and that we do put out there.
At Proven REIT.
At Proven REIT.
We're going to come back to you, Aisha. And we take our first break on Business Live Extra. More when we return. Welcome back to Business Live Extra. Proven Real Estate Investment Trust is the preeminent real estate development arm of Proven Investments Limited. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of Proven Investments Limited. Proven REIT has residential and commercial development projects with over 109,000 square feet of commercial space and 40+ acres of prime development lands across the Caribbean. The company's first stamp on the real estate market was made in 2014 with a 3-story contemporary building with a successful partnership with Madelon Homes. Proven REIT's core values are excellence, integrity, passion, and respect. Here to tell us all about Proven REIT is CEO Aisha Campbell. Aisha, welcome back.
Thank you, Mark.
You know, you started telling us about the first development, 2014 or so, Kingsway. Was it a massive success, you know, huge success? Any apartments or residential retained, or was it a full, call it full sale?
Yeah, it was definitely successful. It was our first partnership. We had robust sales. The product was a quality product, and our customers were happy. And so we went on from there to do more and more of those sort of developments, residential.
Residential?
Yeah.
And in the early days, like any new business, did you find Proven Investments venturing into the real estate space, you know, different asset class and stocks, bonds, you know, shares, etc.? Were there some teeth and pains in the early years that, you know, Proven REIT had to kind of go through, like any startup business?
Absolutely. And just to say that I started 4 years ago, so I was not there from the inception. But even then, because it was still fairly young, we had to build out systems and processes, but I came with my experience from Wicon, and that's what we do. We do development, and so it's been a really exciting journey, to be honest, Mark, because what we're doing, we have a vision for really expanding across the Caribbean, and we just want to push the boundaries. Anything that we put out there, we want it to be iconic.
Right. So you mentioned the Caribbean.
Yes.
Any development properties or joint ventures outside of Jamaica at this point?
Yes, we're actually doing a development in Grand Cayman, and we're doing that with a partner, because in Cayman you have to have a partner to execute those sort of projects. So you have to have a Caymanian partner. So we're doing that with a partner, Infinity Capital Partners Limited, and we're doing 13 townhomes there on the Lagoon waterfront, and so hopefully we'll be delivering that this year.
Okay, so that's an ongoing development.
Yes.
And are you planning to retain any of those units for income, or is that undecided?
Undecided at this time, but what we are definitely looking for in Cayman, warehousing.
Okay.
Yes, we're looking for warehouse opportunities in Cayman, along with other opportunities.
Like commercial as well.
And I say that to hold.
Okay.
So for the whole portfolio, definitely there's a demand in Cayman for warehousing, and then to do some other developments as well.
Any other jurisdictions as yet, even if it's just, you know, greenfield, or it's, you know, commercial, industrial in the Caribbean, or just Cayman was the first?
Cayman is our first from a real estate development point of view, but as you know, Proven has its Proven Investments Limited has its footprint right across the Caribbean. So we're also looking in Barbados, we're looking at Bahamas, we're looking across the Caribbean at